Greetings and welcome to today's Utopia Living Show. I'm here at Art and Soul Studio in Nashville, Tennessee with my lovely friend, Pat Halper, who's actually the executive director of the Art and Soul Artists Cooperative, which is a nonprofit, and she's also one of the cooperative art members as well. Yes. So happy to be here with you, Pat. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
So we're here today. I had the pleasure of coming here for your birthday this year, your 60th birthday, and this place was filled with the beauty of your art, your personal collection, and I was so in awe when I read your story about how your inner artist came to be and how it was, to your knowledge, a journey that it started around 9 years old. And I'll have you share a little bit about that. But one of the things that I thought was amazing was the fact that during the summer times, your mom would take you on Saturdays to an art camp, art and music camp. But that particular art and that particular music didn't appeal to you. No. It was when you wandered into another space and you would look at the paintings and things like that. And just tell us about being that 9-year-old little girl and what that space did for you.
Well, my mother actually took me to the bus stop when I was 9 years old and put me on a city bus to ride downtown to the art museum, which was kind of remarkable. It's a different time.
Was that here in Nashville?
No, this was in Toledo, Ohio.
Okay.
And so yeah, I went to these art classes, and after the art class, they took us into this. There was a big symphony hall there, and we had music appreciation classes, which basically was, I guess it was different symphony players showing us the different instruments and how they were played. I didn't actually take any music lessons, but you know, try as I have tried, I do not remember anything about those art classes except feeling completely intimidated.
Wow.
And I think that's why I don't remember anything. I was just kind of shut down because I felt, for whatever reason, even though I was only 9 years old, that I just didn't, I don't know, didn't belong for some reason. But between the time that the classes were over and it was time for me to catch the bus, I would wander through the different rooms and look at the art. And I very much identified and just loved the art. And just dreamed about being able to.
So within the drum circle that you experienced Art and Soul, and how old were you? Because you said that the gap from 9 years old until what age?
I was about almost in the neighborhood of 50. And actually, I had heard about Art and Soul before because a friend of mine, some years before that, when Neil was quite little, I had gone to her house and she had these huge pieces of paper up on the wall and all these like crazy marks and paintings on it, and I said, Belize, what is that? And she said, oh, I'm working out my issues with food or something crazy. And so she had told me she'd been going to this place called Art and Soul, and it was a different experience of creating, and it just stuck with me. And by the time Neil was at the age when he was participating in this drum circle, I had left the business that I'd been in for many years, and which was music publishing, and I had started looking for places to take art, and you know, of course, what was available or what was most readily available were classes that, I don't know, I just couldn't make myself commit to.
I love the fact that at 51 is when you really tapped into your inner artist. And as I've seen your work, we have this beautiful piece here that a friend of mine just purchased as we came to an open house last Saturday. This is one of your pieces, and it's gorgeous and it's beautiful. And who would think that this is an artist that started at 51 and has just been painting at 8 years? So for a person like myself that loves art, that loves painting, that loves color, it makes me feel like I can do it too.
You can. That's what we specialize in here. I mean, the thing I would say about Art and Soul is that it's because of what's been created in this space, and it's a environment of non-judgment, it's nurturing and trust, and because of that environment, that I would say most everybody that comes here would say that's why they can do what they can do, and why I was able to fill the walls with so much art.
Fill the walls with beautiful, beautiful pieces.
Because I've been, I've had the distinct pleasure and gratitude for being in this space where, you know, I knew that whatever I did was okay. I didn't have to wonder, well, is somebody going to think, you know, it's amateurish, or is they going to think, oh, what is she doing, or that's a stupid idea, because we don't do that around here. We just support each other in our individual explorations, and that's really special.
I think that's just special to have that community in your world and in your life, regardless of if it's in an art studio or where. And when you set a place of non-judgment, of nurturing, and you may have said love, I'm not sure, but that's what I thought of. And look at all of the beauty that takes place in the expression of what comes out, and it's that inner potential that maybe has not ever been tested or pursued. You see the actual tangible evidence and fruit of the potential that resides in us, and it's probably way more than what you ever would have thought or imagined. And when I have seen all of the art, and we'll take a look at some of the pieces that you all have here today, but when you see the art and just the beautiful expression and hearing other artists, not only yourself, but I had the opportunity of meeting some of the other 42 cooperative artists at the gallery opening last Saturday, and to hear when they started and just to see just these masterpieces, it's really quite amazing. Because you think that maybe you had to be doing this ever since you were a young child, or you had to be formally taught, and you cannot tell that these people, these artists, have started later in life, or they were not formally trained with these lavish techniques and things like that. So it's impressive.
The woman Arnima Orr, who started Art and Soul, as it developed, she focused on 3 practices that are really important to what happens in this space, and one of them is intuitive play, one is sound journeying, and one is authentic movement. It's always nice to have, you know, to start a painting with an inspiration or idea, but even when it starts with that, it's what I've learned to be able to do here, and what I so enjoy is just starting. And whether there's an idea or an inspiration out there, or whether there's nothing out there, whether there's nothing but a blank canvas and all the paint and materials, that I just I call it listening and following. It just, I, you know, put on a color, make a mark, and
Pat, one of the things that you said is that sometimes you'll come in here and you'll just begin to paint, and you may have an inspiration, you may have a goal in mind, and I think that's just kind of our Western culture way, American way to be very goal-oriented. I know I am, but sometimes the real beauty of what you have inside to come out comes out organically, naturally, unsolicited,
Right.
just listening to your more intuitive self.
Right.
And so when I heard you say, you just kind of, it's blank sometimes, and you
Yeah.
just listen
Yeah.
and you allow yourself to just start moving in the movement
Right.
of where you feel yourself taking you.
Right.
I think that's a beautiful thing that we all can learn how to do more of.
Yes, and sometimes it is actually in movement. It's in how the body wants to move, how the hand wants to move, following those inclinations that that are present physically in our breath. You know, sometimes it's to music. We're very often playing music here.
Yeah. One of the things that was really amazing to me is when I was here talking to one of the artists, I noticed a painting that looked kind of like a bat that could have been a person. And when I asked the artist about that picture, she was sharing with me that when she started, she didn't know where she was going with it. And it just came out of her like through the stroke of her brush.
Right.
And it evolved, and then she realized it was someone that she knew. It represented someone that was in her life that was dark and powerful. And I don't even know if she was, I think she was saying she wasn't fully aware that that's quite how she saw that person, but it was a person that she was in relationship with, and that came out, and I said, wow, that's just awesome. And we had a great conversation about that person and that relationship, and so it also is a way to open up other people's eyes in a new way as well.
Absolutely. When you're a co-op member here, it's part of the deal is because of the co-op fees you're paying, which are rather minimal. You can come here and work anytime when we're not having classes and workshops, but you don't have to be a co-op member to take classes and workshops. And everything we do is around opening those opportunities for people. All the classes are about creating that space. Like I facilitate a class here, but it's not me teaching anybody anything. It's me holding a space for people to be able to find that creative expression and allow that to happen.
Well, I thank you for doing that and creating that space, and you have spaces for couples to come as well.
So, well, couples can come together to a class, even if it's not specifically for a couple.
Yes. And then you have sometimes events that are catered to couples.
Yeah, we did actually one of those for the first time this year, and it was really interesting.
Usually things with couples are interesting. So, well, where can people find out? Is there a website? And how can people find out more about Artt and Soul?
Go to www.artandsoul.com.
Well, Pat, thank you so much for today. And as we get ready to close, I love to nourish the mind as well as the spirit, and talk about just what different people in our community are doing creatively. And I know this space has so many beautiful and inspiring pieces, but also quotes. So what's one of the quotes you'd like to share with us today?
Oh, there's so many, but the one that jumped in my mind is a Picasso quote. He said that every child is born an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist when one grows up. So it's in all of us. We were made by a creator, and we are meant to create. So
absolutely.
For some of us it's visual art, some it's music, some it's cooking, some it's gardening, but it's really meaningful to find the thing that one is drawn to and to have creativity in their life. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
I appreciate your time in this beautiful space, and we'll take a look at some of these beautiful pieces you all have here.
All right.
All right. Make it a utopian day.
Thank you, Naya.